Friday, market movers. We're back, coming off a pretty good day earlier this week. Justin, what's up, man? Short slate today.
Short slate, 20 games, probably going to be a quick episode, but I mean, who can complain about how Wednesday went? We are on a little bit of a roll. Obviously don't want to jinx ourselves too much, but you know what? We're the process is working. If you've been hanging out, we can take a hit if it happens, right? You know, that's how it is. We literally spent 10-15 minutes talking about bankroll management to end the show last week, and you probably didn't need much, and if you were reckless, you probably had a better time than those of us who were very conservative. But look, we're here, we're gonna do it. Exciting day, because these slates, no one's really like going to be paying attention to some of these games. We should be able to find some value, but let's get into it. I don't know, Mike, are you excited about any of the big ones at the top? I'll pull up the Sims.
Honestly, it's a really short slate. Not a ton. I mean, this slate has Jay Smooth written all over it a lot more than it does me personally. But there are a few spots that I like. I think my favorite one, unfortunately, the market has kind of moved to where I was at on the number, but there's still some edges on totals. If you've been following, I think that you have probably seen that, at least in terms of this model, or I should say this model, my model. We'll call it the number edge model, whatever we're calling it. The totals, that's where I seem to find the most edges, is on totals in college basketball. And we have one still, but I was most excited about Richmond. This game was at like 2.5 and 3. It's ballooned up to 4, which is basically marking where my simulations have it at 4.3. So I don't think there's really any much value left. You could still find the -4 at -106 at least. So it's somewhat of a friendly price if you still want to lay the 4. But I do have a little lean on the over on that one. Do you have any thoughts on this Richmond game?
Oh, man. Okay. So this just screams St. Bonaventure to me. All right. It just.
Interesting.
Well, okay. And it screams St. Bonaventure to me in like a contrarian way, because everybody is on Richmond. Everybody is on Richmond, right? And was like, oh, St. Bonaventure's been terrible. St. Bonaventure isn't the same team this year. St. Bonaventure isn't playing up to their standards. Like, okay, but they're still like a good program, and the number ballooning the other direction on a program like St. Bonaventure's, who has had the number of this Richmond team for a while. Like, you look at recent results, like they have won. They've been winning this matchup. The Spiders don't necessarily beat the Bonnies normally. So I don't know. Is this going to be one of these situations where the Spiders have this game circled because it's a weak Richmond squad? Because the Spiders have it circled because it's a weak Bonaventure squad? Yeah, probably. They're like, okay, these guys have been beating us since, our seniors were freshmen. Every time we lose both games to them. What are we going to do? I don't know. So I think people are going to be leaning towards the Spiders a lot today, but that makes me want to take the Bonnies, honestly, and have a close game on the road for them.
Yeah, especially if you get this closer to 4.5, 5. I do think this one kind of continues to balloon up in favor of Richmond. I think that the answer for me is just going to be probably to play the total. What do you think about the total, since that seems to be the only place that I have an edge? The good news is I'm not playing Richmond. I do agree with you. I like Richmond to win the game. I think it happens, but the model edge obviously doesn't exist to be able to play it at 4. So
it doesn't exist anymore.
How do you feel about the total though? Because that's where I'm at.
I mean, I think the total's probably a good bet because these are more offensive teams. The Bonnies just haven't been good on defense this year. So yeah, I like, if you lean Richmond, a Richmond team total might be a good bet.
I could see that. The Bonnies, they literally just scored 76 in a loss.
Yeah. 76 on a loss is pretty good. So I think this has some potential here. You again have 74. Let me see what the line is really quick. I know you said you're going to be checking FanDuel lines today. I'll be looking consensus, just using action on my iPad. So if you see me looking down, that's where I'm at. I don't see lines on action's been acting up, honestly. But yeah, I lean that way. I'm pulling up some trends really quick here.
So Richmond's team total is going to be 70.5, and the Bonnies is 67.5.
So, but here's some of the interest. If you're a trends person, I know we're really not, but sometimes they get in. I like looking for the notable ones. Again, I told you Bonaventures have beaten this Richmond team 5 straight games, 5 straight meetings. They've been beating them, but this is not the same team. So that's something that you want to watch out for. This is a much worse Bonaventures team. If you go bet them blindly here, you're going to probably be in trouble. But the total has gone under in 5 of St. Bonaventure's last 5 games when playing on the road against Richmond. So that's interesting. So the total seems to go under when these teams play. I don't think this is a big enough edge for us, Mike. Like, we usually take games at like 15, 10 points to make it like a market movers play when you really have a model edge on it. So I don't think this is going to make it to our official sheet for the show. It's definitely a lean on the model, but I'd probably stay off. You don't know. This could become like a big battle. These teams know each other. They could slow it down and make every bucket count. So I'll just watch and see.
Sounds good. I'll stay with the lean. No official play on it yet. You want to hit that first game? I kind of skipped right to Richmond just because I know everyone. It seems like that's like the consensus game that everyone cares about today is Richmond and the Bonnies. Let's hit Colorado State, San Diego State. At least I think so. It seems to. I just from glancing obviously the early edge this morning, other things like it seems like Richmond and the Bonnies is the game that the majority of people care about.
I think you're right.
Let's hit Colorado State, San Diego State, though. We love a
this is
West
arguably,
Coast game.
Yeah, arguably the most exciting game on tonight in terms of like the point spread. This is going to be very close. These are good teams, and we don't really know who's going to win. Colorado State probably favored in models because they're at home, and again, these teams are probably separated by 1.5 points on a neutral court in most simulations, right? And on an average simulation. But how have they been doing recently? How have they been doing in conference play gets to be very important. I mean, San Diego State, this is okay. This game's going to come down to when Colorado State's on offense and San Diego State's on defense, because San Diego State is a great defense, Colorado State, great offense, right? The other side of each team isn't so great. But I mean, San Diego State, their efficiency, their defensive efficiency is 79.6 on Haslametrics. The average in D1 is 102.5. So they're a really good defense, man. Like,
I think that's kind of evident by what I'm showing in my sims here, right? You basically are talking about how some of the simulations work. So you look at this number here. I'm at 129.4. The market's at 134.5. This game opened 128.5. The market has moved this thing 6 points on the total. I like the under, honestly, at 129. I think it was appropriate at 128.5 where it opened. Colorado State is up to -3.5 in the market. So we're talking about a strong defensive team in San Diego. Model likes them with the points. Not a strong play, but definitely a pretty meaningful lean on San Diego State and the under. Typically, the underdog and the under are correlated.
I like this.
That's where I'm at on it. Do you want to make either side of it an official play for the show, or we staying off? I don't know that you like both sides.
I like both these. Definitely leans on both these bets. I mean, San Diego State has been a great road team for not just this season, last season. They are just a well-coached road team. On the road, money line, not great this season, but I guess they've been decent in years past. I don't know. Colorado State pretty nice at home this year. This is actually pretty interesting. I think the under is probably the play I'd want to go with. Let me just like check some of the other parts of my system really quick, and then I'll confirm. But my guess is that this is probably the right play. The Sandy, this should probably be like 130, 129. So let's make
maybe
it
129.5 since that's where my simulation is. Let's pretend like my simulation is perfect, Justin.
It probably will end up being perfect. I think if not, like if it isn't like right on the dot, I wouldn't be shocked if this thing just like is 110 points and it's just gross. Like 125. I think like Bart Torvik has 125. And he's pretty sharp. Let's see what KenPom actually has for this game. 130 on the nose. So I mean, this is now not just try to beat KenPom. This is, do you trust KenPom over the market's opinions on this game? And like you said, it opened 128. It's been beaten up a little bit. I don't think these teams should be beaten up. 128, 129, 130 seems like the likely range here. I like the under. So there's a market movers play for you. Mike's model agrees. I agree with the play style.
Under 134.5.
What the heck? That is a very nice line, sir. Where are you finding that?
I have that at FanDuel and MGM. I actually just got it at FanDuel.
Dude, Caesars is hanging 130.5.
Are you serious?
According to what I'm seeing on Action, unless they just haven't updated.
Let me pull it up real quick. By the way, I can't recommend it more. Like, I can't do it with Mac. It doesn't work with there. But if you live in a legal sports betting state, like, I just put another new computer in that is a Windows-based machine that runs the player locating easily. Having all of this stuff, like being able to sit here on desktops and not have to mess with phones and everything, you scanning my face to log in, just absolutely brutal. It saves me so much time.
That's happening. I'm getting a second device when I move.
Dude, I'm telling you, I have literally paid for the device by being able to quickly grab lines that have moved by the time I try and open the app on my phone using the Face ID. Not joking. Like, on bets that I've been able to get, I would bet you that I have paid for this computer already in the first month of finding the proper lines.
I wouldn't be shocked about that at all. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you can find, broken lines. These things last for minutes, and these things can be honored. There's whole discords out there. If you like finding lines that shouldn't be there. Sorry,
I can control F. I can control F and search in like it's just
which is so much nicer than like trying to scroll like through. Oh, where is it? Did I miss it? Am I scrolling too fast? Like it gets difficult. It definitely gets difficult. All right, 100 and I need to go on FanDuel. And FanDuel sucks because they make you like get the second the verification code. What's what called?
Do they?
Yeah,
I don't know what are you asking?
I don't know what we're just
Sack
talking
It Up
about.
Sports. You're watching on Twitch, so you don't see the chat from the YouTube side. Type in the chat Sack It Up Sports what your question exactly is, and we might be able to answer it.
Max, we just actually talked about the Bonnies if you're coming in late, which is obviously totally cool. Thanks for hanging. But we kind of passed on most of this game. Everyone kind of likes Richmond here, so I think I go Bonnies just because fading the market's probably smart in this case, especially since it's ballooned up past a full bucket. I think St. Bonaventure could hold their own in the matchup, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm trying to log into Places Bet, but all right, that's a couple games down.
I got to get you to stop using Action. Their stuff is just so stale on the lines. It's 134.
Really? That's pretty bad.
It's still, but it's, it's moved. It's basically where they
No,
had
I'm saying that's
morning,
bad for Action in terms of reporting it like crap, and that's annoying.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. Anyway, I'm locking in this bet, putting a couple bucks on it. Let's keep going. We got plenty more to find. We usually get 4 or 5 a show. It's been doing well. And again, we're fading the market on this one. And why not, right? We don't hate seeing a line that opened 128. You're getting 6 points above opening lines, which is usually based on models, right? Like these models similar to Mike's, like the ones that we're all quoting here, Sagarin, Haslametrics, KenPom, what have you. They all, what do I bet on when there's no CB? I really bet a lot less actually. They're all based on this. So when you see an opening line move, you basically can say, no, I'm going to trust the models and take opening lines. Like that's normally how things go. Like in terms of the average is normally that like you open with the models predictions and then the market moves things off of them. But all right, next game on the list, we just had a little comment about it. Cornell. I don't know if there's an app.
Yeah, no, I am.
We're just betting by ourselves on our computers, and for me on my phone, like a plebeian, but that's all right. All right, Cornell Princeton. Mike, I'm on Cornell today. for sure. Non-model pick. I know it was a slight lean. I think yesterday night it was a little bit of a lower line. It's plus 2.5. I took him at +1, so I obviously like him here too.
Yeah, that's the way I would lean. Like I said, I make the game a dead pick 'em, as you can see on the screen. So that's where I would lean. Another game with a lean on the over. I would love your thoughts on the total on this one, because I think this is one I had circled that I would potentially be interested in playing the over, even though it's a big number.
But I've noticed from the from the Ivy League, of course. How can I forget what that was called? But what I noticed with the Ivy League is that they're both the entire conference is very offensive. That's very offensively focused. This is not a conference that plays a lot of defense. Nationally ranked, these teams are both around or below the 250th in the nation. Princeton 242, Cornell 242, Princeton 295 defensively. In conference play, again, there's only like 8 teams in this conference, so when you hear them being 6th in the conference, it's not like that crazy, but it's still pretty low. But Princeton's offense is very powerful. Cornell's offense has been shooting pretty well. Yeah, I lean the over, but like you said, that might not be correlated with the underdog. But it is a home underdog though, which might work. So yeah, I like the plus points. I like the over. The line's a little low at 157 for sure.
Cool. That's where I would lean. No official play for me.
Yeah, no, not a show play. Show play right now is really just the Colorado State, San Diego State under. But all right, let's keep going. Seton Hall, Creighton. Now, I basically this morning said, or last night said, I am just not even going to bother with this one. Like, I took a look. Everything looks pretty on point with models and simulations and everything. It's like the Big East has been a mess.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of interest in this one. I want to find where some of the so I thought that I was much closer. This one's seen a little bit of market movement towards the under. I did glance at this last night like you. I was dead on last night. It was like 137.5. Now it's down to 135.5. So I'm showing a slight lean on the over here, but not enough for me to go ahead and play it. This game, while it seems interesting on a really short slate, I think it's one that I'm very comfortable just crossing off my list.
Yeah, I think if anything for me, the pick here, and I have money on it. So the pick here for me is the underdog, is taking the plus points on Cornell, 5-0 ATS and straight up.
You mean Creighton?
Oh, we're on the. Oh my God.
Yeah, see, no, Creighton, you're out of it again.
I went back. It's just been a week, dude. It has literally been a goddamn week of this, like my brain half working. I don't know. All right. Yeah, no, stay the hell away from Seton Hall Creighton. I wanted to stay so far away from it that my brain just fully thought we were still talking about the game I actually cared about. So, all right, let's stay in the Ivy League and go to this Harvard game. Interesting one with Brown. I'm not going to play anything on this for me. I don't think. Total, maybe the over, maybe Harvard. Yeah, I think the over is probably the play, but I don't have.
I lean towards Brown.
Yeah,
I lean Brown and over, but neither one of them are strong enough for me. If I were to like play every little tiny edge we had, these would be 0.1 unit plays, where I would basically have a 1/10 of a unit on Brown, a 1/10 of a unit on the over, but not something that I'm overly excited to get to. So I'll gladly avoid Brown and Harvard.
140, you making it 143. So there's some strong trends here. I don't hate trends. The total's gone over in 6 of 7, 6 of Harvard's last 7 games and playing on the road against Brown. So if you believe in that stuff and you think, and look, Brown's a strong home team, right? They are a strong home team. I believe this year they're at it again in terms of, no, they're not. They're not playing well right now. Yeah. No. We are staying as far away from this game as possible. Total probably could eclipse this number of 140 though without too much difficulty. But yeah, it has passed that mark in 3 of the last 4 meetings, but I'm not touching it. It might look, it's a 20 game slate. We don't need a lot of plays. You pick your spots, we have 120 games coming tomorrow. So save your money.
The next one is the one I really think we have to talk about. Niagara and Manhattan. Mainly because these are schools that you would normally be following. Amato really wants to fade Manhattan in this spot, and it does have a lean on the over as well.
I like the over. These are both strong over teams, at least this season. 132 is a pretty low number. I don't really like the 5 here for Manhattan. I don't think that's going to be enough. You look at sort of the games they've been playing. They beat Marist by 6, but they lost to St. Peter's by 26. They lost to Monmouth by 16. They beat Siena, who's actually been playing well, but that was at home. The last 2 road games was St. Peter's and Monmouth, and they lost both those games by double digits plus, and they were +6 and +8. I would like to see them perform on the road here. I don't think that they're going to, and I would worry about the total because of Manhattan not performing, honestly. They got whooped by Iona on the road too. That one did go over, but the last 2 road games for this Manhattan team have stayed under because they don't perform well. I think that trend keeps up, honestly. If you have an overlean here, Mike, my guess is it's probably going to be with Niagara's team total. If I was going to take an over on this game, I'd go Niagara's team total, and I'd take Niagara, one of the two. But I think I lean Niagara doing better here than I do Manhattan. I actually kind of like that. Do I want to play Niagara over 68.5? That is what? Yes, you. Wow. No. Yeah. No, sir. I was expecting it to be like 71. Yeah. No, I'm going to take this too. There's a market movers play for you. FanDuel right now. It is minus 115. It just moved to minus 115 on the over at 68.5. I'm going to see what I can get on Caesars before I lock this in. The total's a touch lower there, so I think. Well, hold on. Let's just make sure. The last couple games that these teams have played have been going under. Does that scare us at all, or we don't care? I personally don't care, but I know you don't care. You don't. Your memory lists. I know. And again, so if anyone maybe has a question of like why Mike doesn't give a crap about trends, how is it best described? They don't matter. They like it's just a lot of noise, right? In terms of like pure statistical analytics, the last game does not affect the next game. I mean, obviously there's some cases where that might be true. Back-to-backs, rest are all factors and things. Revenge games can happen in basketball, but like they don't happen. Those things that like you hear about, like the storyline of it all, those don't happen enough to dissuade the accuracy of the pure statistical analytics. And statistics are memoryless, right? Like the coin flip before the one after doesn't depend on it, right? Well, the game, like technically, unless there are obviously factors like players being out and everything, but in terms of like full strength teams competing at each other in a adequately simulated scenario, it doesn't really matter how many times it went under the times before. So. I still profile things. I mean, it's a lot like we'll talk about it a ton during baseball season. Like I don't believe in or don't use batter versus pitcher stats. Yep. Sample sizes are too small, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing with teams. Like you want to hear a quote like the under is like 9 and 5 in the last 14 between these teams or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's great, but do they play each other 14 times in a season? No, they absolutely do not. We're talking about especially the college team. We have younger players that are moving on all the time. Right. Like, it's never the same team. Irrelevant. Right. It's never the same team. It's never the same environment. Coaches come and go, like performance ebbs and flows. Like you have your best shot looking at everything as independently as possible, essentially, at least when you approach games the way that we do in terms of trying to model them. So that's why, I'll present it for like kind of fun. I mean, it's something to watch for, but it can definitely be hard and most likely, not profitable just following trends. And you'll see it. I mean, how many times have I like hyped up a trend on the early edge and then all of a sudden we're like at a 10, 15 year like trend bucking loss. It's just like, it isn't always about a trend. But anyway. All right. Next game. That team total over. And I'll play it if you want to. What? 68.5. Do you want to make that an official market movers play? Niagara over 68.5? Yes, please.
Okay. I'm
100%.
locking it in now on FanDuel.
Nice. I had to take 69, but it's still nice,
It is very nice. 69 would be a nice number for me. You would push, I would win. I like that.
All right.
All right. So,
yeah, next game.
Monmouth, Fairfield.
Cool.
These teams play each other every other week, it seems. Maybe they do have a 14 trend game or record here. What do you see here?
Man, I think I got it at 6.5 last night with Fairfield. I thought it was too big. Some books already down to 5.5. The sharp money looks like it's there. I'm Fairfield here. I know you disagree.
Yeah, it's 6.5 currently on. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. It's just one that at 7.8, I wouldn't play it. And the total I'm dead on 134. It's 134.5 on FanDuel as well. So for me, it would be a total stay away game. But interesting that you like Fairfield.
I do. I think they've been playing decently recently. And again, that shows up in like some recent ratings. And shout out to some of the people in the Discord, which a little good advertisement spot for the Discord here. Jeff Sagarin has 4 different styles of rankings on his page, and according to Maciu in the Discord, shout out to my guy. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I think I am. He says that the recent analytics, he's been tracking Sagarin's percentage in terms of his ATS accuracy, and he says that the recent metric, which actually looks at recent play more than like a standard model, has been the most accurate against the spread. And I kind of feel that way. I mean, I haven't actually run all the numbers yet. I have most of them. I just haven't really been running them. My system kind of does it for me and helps me produce picks based on it. But it's been feeling that way. And that system has us at 4.39, while it has like this, the standard rating would be at 7.45. And what that means to me is that you've just been seeing good play out of Fairfield. They have some positive momentum, and they're doing better than what the models are projecting. And, you have to almost learn how to listen to these models. So, yeah, you post the StreamYard link.
I know, on accident. I posted the wrong link. We got the correct link in there in Discord. StreamYard there if anyone wants to come join us up on stage.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Can you delete those? Yeah. But okay, that's awesome. We won't let you in the show, but you can come wave to us in the waiting room. But anyway, nonetheless, that's awesome. But yeah, I think that
Noah, get up here, Noah. You can join anytime.
Noah, please. But no, I think this is probably a good Fairfield pick. I like the points here on the road. They're 9-3 against the spread on the road, while Monmouth just has, been mediocre this year in terms of their play at home. They're 13-7, but I think Fairfield probably keeps this close. They've had a lot of close games recently. They just played, like you said, and they lost by 3. That was at Monmouth. Oh no, that was at Fairfield. So now they're going to Monmouth. I still think this one stays close. I do.
Fairfield. Another matchup that seems to be every single time. It's just because these teams all play on the same days, so it always feels like they're playing each other.
Man,
where are we at on this one? Let me pull up.
Man. I'm torn. I feel like this is a gimme, right? Everyone wants to go fade Ryder, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. Sienna's actually been one of the stronger teams in this conference this year in terms of how they're playing. They're playing like a top 3 team in this conference. But I feel like they're due for a letdown. And I kind of feel it coming here. I don't know. What do you think? It's at 5 right now.
Yeah, I believe. 4. Wait. Yeah, 4.5 or 5. Probably 5 is closer to consensus. This one is kind of similar to Colorado State, San Diego State in terms of total situation. It opened 131.5. My simulations were 131.6. It has moved all the way up to 135.5. At that point, I have to start considering taking the under. It tells me that the game's probably going to come in around the 132, 133 range. Any thoughts on the total at all? I know you follow these teams a lot more than I do, but at this point, at 135.5, definitely at 136.5, I have to start considering the under.
Yeah, maybe. I'd probably lay off though. These teams are not very good defensively.
Fair.
We can look at it really quick. Let's see. Siena is 131 seems pretty accurate to me. Actually, man, you might be right. These teams are terrible on offense.
I love when you tell me I might be right, Justin. I love that.
It's your favorite, and then you like to see if you're actually right later. Yeah, these teams are are so bad on offense. Like, holy crap, man. And
I mean, they are. Siena's put up some points recently, though. They put up 85 over Quinnipiac, 73 at Canisius, but yeah.
But are those faster paced teams? I think that they are. I'm not sure. Like,
I mean, you don't have to talk me into it. I'm on the model likes the under here. It's like right at that threshold for where we're like, okay, at 4.5, 5+ points, we start to really strongly consider it on totals.
Hasla has 128. I like it. I think you're probably onto something here. 134 for Sagarin. If you care about totals, 4 of the last 5 times they've played, it's gone over. So probably giving you a little bit of a boost in terms of value because books do shade on those things sometimes. Yeah, I like the under. I think it's probably a sharp underplay.
All right. Are we adding it or are we staying off? Because I think we'll have more plays down here.
Let's see. Maybe we take it at the end if we don't get enough action. It's definitely a fringe play. It's right there. Cool. Let's just see. They are both pretty bad offensively. And that's 135. I have 136. I might. You know what? Let's just do it, Mike. Let's just do it. I'll do it. Let's just do it. It's that we usually what happens is that like when we do this and we're like, nah, like that's the play that hits like easy.
Okay, and I'm getting a friendlier number too. It's not even minus 110 on the under 135.5. I know you're getting 136.
Yeah, I got minus 110.
Okay, I'm in at minus 108 on
there we go. Second play, 2 unders today. All right, next game on the list, St. Peter's Quinnipiac.
That's 3 plays today, actually, already, Jay Smooth. We've got the under 134.5 in San Diego, under 135.5 here, and then Niagara over.
Niagara team total over. I forgot about the team total over. My bad.
Yep.
All right. What's up, Mr. Cassidy? All right. The under is 5-0 in Riders' last 5 road games against a team with a winning home record. Look at you, dude. Hell yeah. Let's go. That's a good one. Good find. And then now it's going to lose, but that's fine. But yeah, no, we'll see. I think the analytics are there, which is what's going to matter. But all right, 3 plays so far. St. Peter's Quinnipiac. This St. Peter's team has been covering everything, Mike. I mean, I don't know if you have you get to see this when you pull things up, but I mean, they're 10-1 against this, 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 games.
And I still lean towards them. I have this number up to almost, 8. I think 8's probably correct. But yeah, it's minus 5.5 there. Another one with a little bit of an over lean. I'm not going to play this one personally, although the model likes St. Peter's on it. You're betting into some pretty peak value. The model's obviously loving how they've played, but
yeah,
for whatever reason, it's one that I don't have a ton of interest in backing at this number. It's the 2 full possessions against this team with this team is just not a situation where I want to get involved in when I know that they have been, frankly, overperforming already. So I'm going to stay away from it, but feel free to play it if you want to blindly follow the model on these.
This one's weird because Quinnipiac is a team that presses the gas when on the road, and they shoot a lot of shots and they let up a lot of points. And then the under has been going off for St. Peter's when they're at home. So this is going to be a very weird game. Honestly, it is a huge clash of styles. So I think how you approach this really comes down to who you think imposes their play style on the other, right? St. Peter's Quinnipiac really just oh man, like Quinnipiac just goes fast, right? 6-2 against 6-2 over under on the road, while St. Peter's has gone under in like almost every home game. So I don't know. I'm gonna stay the hell away from it. It seems kind of frustrating. My guess is it stays under. If I had to guess.
Okay. Yeah, I'm off of it totally.
Yeah, but not worth your money today, in my opinion. But yeah, let's keep going. Yale, Dartmouth. This one's interesting. This one I do think is worth my money.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going with your model basically 100%.
I think it's probably the closest my model is to a game on the day.
Yeah. And I'm still on Yale -7.5. I think Dartmouth has been playing very well, but this Yale team is probably the best team in the conference. Dartmouth again had some trouble against Princeton, had some trouble against Harvard, had some trouble against Penn. Yale has been playing well. They just beat Princeton in Princeton, who is supposed to be the threat to them in this conference. It really looks like it's Yale's. I mean, if you have odds, anything decent on who's coming out of this conference for the tournament this year, my money's on them. Princeton might make a run, but I just think this Yale team is better. And Princeton's a little young, and they do not really play a lot of defense. While this Yale team, they can do it all in terms of Ivy League play. I mean, they're not going to make a big tournament run, but they're probably not going to have much of a problem getting through the Ivy League tournament in March. So, yeah,
Fair.
That's my take.
Fair.
Take it to the bank. Yale. Here's some other stats. Yale first in defense in the Ivy League play so far. Second in offensive efficiency in Ivy League play so far. First in 3-point percentage allowed. 2-point percentage allowed. Free throw shooting against rates all top of the conference. They should shut this Dartmouth team down. Like I said, Yale -7.5, probably not big enough. It should probably be like 10.
I got a question here. This actually supports what we like in the San Diego State-Colorado State game.
Okay.
Max wants to know, do we like the FanDuel College Basketball Super Boost? So they have a Super Boost today.
I didn't know this.
It was +150 up to +200 on Colorado State, Toledo, and Fresno State to all win. Super interesting that Colorado State obviously is the steam side. They've moved all the way to 3.5 against San Diego State, which is where we lean on San Diego State. We lean towards the under. We actually have a full play on the under. Interesting and nice to see Colorado State being included in that boost.
Where do you wait? Is this state to state? Is it different state to state?
It could be. In Tennessee here, the super boost is Colorado State, Toledo, and Fresno State to all win, boosted to +200. I do not like the play personally. Another thing that you can do, I'm going to go ahead and price it on another sports book and see the things that you need to do with these boosts. You need to go price them individually and see, are you really even getting a deal at all? We'll add Colorado State. We'll add Fresno. And what was the other one? Toledo. So it is a deal relative to the DraftKings current pricing, +149 boosted to +200. If you want to, it's okay value, but it would not be great value in our simulations just because we don't have a number that's reflective on Colorado State. If you like Colorado State and make them closer to the -3.5 that they are, or more than that in the market, then yes, it is a boost that you should want to play. If it is not, if you're closer to where we are here on this number, then I would not play.
I fully agree. But yeah, I definitely think, I don't know how I feel about that Yale team total. I think that's probably a good line. If anything, I think it's the Dartmouth team total under. I like Yale to limit Dartmouth more than I like Yale to run away with it offensively. Honestly, they could definitely play a game where they just slow it down, just stop them, and this game. What's the projected score? You have it basically spot on the money, Mike. Right? So it basically is.
Yeah, that's the closest game of the day in my sense.
Right. It's like 72.5 to 64.5 is basically where this one's at. Essentially, maybe 65. Probably 65, 72.5, 65 is probably where the market has it. I think I could see this one slowing down and ending at like, 65-58, and it like just pushing or Dartmouth like, just barely miss. I don't know, but I think it definitely has a perspective to go under. So I think if you're backing Yale, you're doing it on their defensive prowess, which means if you want to make a correlated play, Dartmouth team total under probably has some value today. They are likely to struggle here, but not a market movers play by any means. Purdue, Fort Wayne, Milwaukee, fascinating one. I mean, Purdue, Fort Wayne has been like a team that people have sort of tried to pick against all year, and they've actually been performing against like everybody's biases because they were one of those teams that's like stunk for the last 3 seasons, and there's a few of those every year that everybody picks on because they were bad the year before, but they picked it up this year. And it's like, you want to look out for those stories because teams will turn corners like just with one player, honestly. That's what basketball can do. But anyway, nothing here for me. I'm usually a big Milwaukee fan, but this is not the game for me.
No. I've got an under lean, not going to make it a full play, but that's where I lean. I have a pretty decent number.
You have a lean on Fort Worth at -6, right?
Fort Wayne, yeah. I like the lean on the under just a touch more, but it's not a game that I personally want to get involved in. If the game is like right on the fringe, unless you're again playing every edge and scaling the unit down,
right?
If I'm not intending to watch the game when it's right on the borderline, I personally am just not going to play it on a Friday night like tonight. It's not that fun for me. So I'm not going to try to grind out every tiny little possible edge that we have in this spot. So,
buddy, I mean, look, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, this team, not great on the road. All right. They haven't been able to play well on the road, and Fort Worth has just been winning at home. So probably this is probably like a good donkey leg if you wanted like a money line to throw in some type of donkey parlay. And you know what? It's Friday and we did one last Friday. So you know what? We're going to do another Friday donkey at the end of the show. We'll definitely do them every Friday because Fridays are for that type of stuff. But yeah, I think this is probably a pass on every other type of play. Probably a relatively secure money line. Like if you were looking for parlay boostering legs. Again, PFW has won 6 of the last 7 games at home, and Milwaukee has lost 4 of the last 5 games on the road. So again, that's the type of thing I somewhat believe in terms of trends. It's just some teams just stink on the road. And that's okay. But all right, Fresno State playing Nevada. This is 11.5 from you, Mike. 9 on the board for the books. I don't know. I think this is probably a pass again. I don't love anything about this. I don't really love these night games. I don't like these night games, honestly. Like West Coast games for me, for whatever reason, I find these like West Coast late night games not to be as efficient in terms of my betting. And very often I don't bet them. I think it has a lot to do with maybe not watching the teams a lot. I'm the teams that I'm always looking at and watching are the ones that are on when I can watch basketball. So why not just pick the East Coast teams? The Midwest teams play a little later, but that I can usually watch the games finish. But yeah, Fresno, Nevada is a big pass. I don't know. Do you even have a slight lean on this? No, you're almost right on the number. I guess maybe Fresno State, but Nevada's been. What's going to happen here is it depends on if Nevada has their player back, right? They're missing somebody or something. So I'd definitely be watching out for this one. See if there's any news late tonight. If you're trying to bet that 11 p.m. tip, I'm sure some of you will want to degen into it, and it's fine. Maybe we all have our chase games, but again, if you want to chase on that game, it's good to know what's going on. There might be some injury news for Nevada. Definitely watch out with that one. And I mean, after that, just know that you're going against a Fresno team that's covered all but one of the times they've been made a favorite against the spread. So they're playing pretty well, and Nevada just is not having the best season. Plus, didn't Nevada just come off of getting smacked by UNLV? Yeah, Nevada's not playing well. This is probably Fresno, but I'll stay away.
Yep, that's where I lean. Dead on the total. Not going to play it, though.
What has Nevada's scoring been bad? Yeah, man, they scored 58, 49, 66, 67 against Wyoming. Where's their team total? You have 60 today. They might be projected to actually score that, though. Let's see.
Yeah, it's not a big enough edge on it. They did play a much more competitive game and a faster game against Fresno when they played a few weeks ago. But pretty easy stay away.
Yeah, the easy stay away is right. All right, 5 more to go. Nice little short slate. Get a touch on everyone. It's kind of fun. Cleveland State, Green Bay. I'm gonna say it. I'm taking the points, Mike.
Okay, I don't hate it. It's right at 11.5, and the number's about to move to 12 on Cleveland State pretty much everywhere. It's going to be pretty much dead on my sim, right? If you look at the number, it's 11, at least on FanDuel, it's 11.5 minus 118 with the indication it's going to go to 12. Total sitting at over 133.5 at minus 115, indicating it's going to go to 134. Outside of that game, this is probably the closest to market I am. So when you find a game like this, I want to tell for everyone watching, right? If you like a side of a game and I don't, or my simulations don't, that doesn't mean that you can't play it or that you shouldn't play it. What you should love to see is if I don't have a play on it. And the reason I don't have a play on it is because it's dead on the market. Like my simulation, which is totally independent of the market, we run separate simulations, lands on the same number. If you have something that you like, all that is telling you for the most part is that your position is likely not negative EV. You might have something that makes it plus EV, but worst case scenario, you're betting into a coin flip situation and not a negative EV situation. So when you find things like that, just because the model doesn't support it, if the model is dead on the market and you have something you like, I think it's totally okay to go play at that point.
For sure. I think, look, you bet your model like gospel, right? And it's because it's systemic and you do it every day and it's led to profit and you can do that, right? But at the other end of the spectrum is that sometimes when the model comes in and says, hey, we agree with what's out there, it could go, that really means that, I don't know the best way to describe it, but probably the best way to describe it is to think of like the bell curve scenario, right? And to understand that models simulate thousands of results and then compile data to create one data point to represent everything. There's a lot more complexity to the numbers you're seeing. So like you have to imagine that bell curve stemming off in terms of the results distribution that could happen based off of where that like middle number is. So, essentially when the model agrees with the line, it's basically saying, the median result in terms of like where everything should get distributed is here. But that means there's just an equal distribution on either side, right? So that means we have no distinct edge in that model, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad pick. But it's kind of fun to get into it, how it actually looks. It's not just models. I mean, it's not just numbers. It's like result distributions. And it can get really interesting when you have like models trained to understand the way basketball games work. And like, that's like a lot of times why I won't take a +1. I'll just like take a cheaper money line, It's like point distributions matter. So, and result distributions matter. And that's what we try to model. But anyway, sorry for the spiel. I'm on Green Bay because Cleveland can't seem to win a game by any serious margin. I mean, look at these results. Let's look at these results. They beat Robert Morris by 2. They beat Youngstown. Okay, they clowned Youngstown a little bit. My boys, they clowned them. No, these are the wrong results. My bad. This is Cleveland. Cleveland lost to Northern Kentucky by 6. They beat Wright State by just 4. They only beat Robert Morris by 7. They beat Youngstown by just 3. They beat Detroit by 2. So they're not beating anybody by double digits. In fact, they've only beat one team by double digits all season. This isn't, again, that's not really a trend. It's just the fact this team isn't like they don't care to win big. They don't care. They just want to win the game. So I'll take the points. Green Bay's going to compete. They're going to try to win 2, especially if Cleveland lets them hang around, and they let everybody hang around this year. So you know what? Let's go. 12.5 I got last night. If you can wait and get 12 before tip, I highly recommend it. But that is a play for me for sure. All right, a couple more to go. Virginia Military Institute.
This is our spot. This happens once every show, Justin. We almost hit 10 on the total. It's an over spot for me. I have it at 153.5 at minus 105 currently as the number. We're showing 162 in the Sims. very close to an autoplay just because of how good those have been in this particular spot. Do you have anything to stop me from playing over 153.5?
No, I don't.
Okay.
All three of this is one of the lowest totals we've seen on this matchup in the last year or two. The lines for this matchup has been set at 154.5, 158, 153, 154, 157. Under in the last three, but that makes me think an over's due. Money's on the over, sharps on the under, according to whatever the hell Action is reporting these days. I'm literally, I canceled my subscription. I'm only going to use it until it runs out. But yeah, VMI 7-3 on the over the last 10. They definitely score a good amount. They're an offensive team. I would not be shocked to see this go over. It's gone over in all three of their last home games. And Western Carolina, it's been a little bit of a slow it down team, but the last game against ETSU, they definitely can power this through past 160.
It's a good question in the chat. Why not isolate VMI team total over? I don't hate it. It's 82.5, I believe. I would not go above 83 if that's where you can find it, but it should be 82.5. I don't hate it. I'm going to play the full game personally
here. So, I mean, let's just look at how this is sort of shaping up, right? Because we have about 5 on one and about 4 on the other, right? So there's no like one side that necessarily has a more distinct advantage on like going over, right? In regards to how we think the game's going to go. And like, we don't really have a huge edge on either. I guess you actually have a huge edge on VMI, Mike. I mean,
no, I do, which is why it's prompted the question. I'm looking at one of the chats here. I'm going to go ahead and try to.
But your edge is actually bigger on the total. I mean, 72. How is this possible? How is the Western Carolina team total on DraftKings 70 and the VMI team total 82, but the line is still 6.5? What the hell? Like, what? I'm not tripping, right? Like that. Oh, never mind. It is 11.5. I'm tripping. Okay, cool. I'm tripping. Sorry. Happens a little too often these days, but I do let a computer make my bets, so you can relax. Yeah. No. This is the over is the right play here. It's not that big of an edge on VMI. That was my mistake. It's a 2-point edge on VMI, which isn't enough. I'd rather take the 9 points on the total more than I like VMI or Western Carolina. Market movers play number 4, baby. Western Carolina VMI over. What's the line? 100 and
I have 153.5 at minus 105, which is where I played.
Would you prefer 153 flat for minus 110? Or do you like that? I mean, that's what I can find, I think. So
let me run it through the math. I can't do it in my head.
Yeah, they should all be fine, right? Like, they should all be fine. But all right, a couple more to go. I'm placing this bet.
I personally do not use KenPom. I know Justin does. He'll basically use KenPom lines, use my lines, use other models' lines, and compare. I do everything independently, personally.
I mean, yeah. So I use KenPom just to like compare in terms, because that's sort of, he sets the lines, right? Like we talked about it before. Exactly. College basketball has kind of betting on college basketball has kind of boiled down to betting against KenPom's model, and then factoring in market movement and like either fading or tailing the public a little bit, right? When things move off of his opening lines. And again, sometimes there's other models that do things, and like it isn't always 100% his model. I don't know exactly how it's always done, but I find his stats interesting, especially right now in conference play, because his model, if you go into it and you click on if you pay the $20 a year, which you probably should, it's very worth it. You go to Fan Match and you click on the time next to the page. I can literally show you here. Let's share my screen here. Sure, we're gonna chip everything out for a second, but damn it, never mind. Okay. That's fun. But yeah, no, I think using KenPom to look at like how teams are specifically playing in the conference is really powerful. And I like that a lot because conference play is usually a lot different than non-conference play. And if you get hung up on the numbers from non-conference play, you can have a bad time. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. But any thoughts on that, Mike?
No thoughts on it there. I had a question in the chat, and it'll look confusing because if you're not watching on Twitch versus YouTube, you don't get to see the chat from both. But I responded not at -120. So if you guys see that, someone on Twitch wanted to know if we wanted to play 152.5 at DraftKings or the 153.5 at FanDuel. The 153.5 at FanDuel is a better price than the 152.5 at DraftKings. So the DraftKings number is -120. At FanDuel, it is -15. In college basketball, when you run the numbers, run the math on everything here, 152 or 153.5 at -105 is equivalent to 152.5 at -116. So you're comparing that -116 to the -120. It is a better play, even though the number is higher at that price, just based on the probability of the game landing where it is. Yeah,
definitely. All right. So anyway, 4 plays so far. We'll review them and do a donkey in a minute. I'm going to be late to my happy hour Twitter Spaces with Moment Ranks, but that'll be okay. That's where I'll be going after this. And by happy hour, we mean like the soda I'm drinking, right? I mean, I don't know. But all right, Canisius Iona, man, I want to bet on this. Tell you that. Like, no thanks. This is tough. Iona's been killing it in the conference. Canisius, though, can be definitely very pesky. I don't know. Any thoughts, Mike?
Classic one. I leaning towards the better team, Iona, as you said. It's just it's up to 12.5 now at this point. If it trickled down to 12 and normal, like a -110 line, I would have some interest, but can't quite get there.
I think I'm seeing that on DraftKings. Am I?
At 12?
Oh, I can't. Not on my DraftKings, but maybe not. Nope, never mind. I can't get it on DraftKings. So, since I'm in New York. So, never mind. Let's see what my local bookie has, though. That might be interesting. Let's see, Mr. Friendo. Yeah, I have 12 -110. But I still don't want to bet it. I still don't want to bet it.
All right, I got to talk about this one before we go for sure. Ball State Toledo, because I thought I almost played this last night. I want to talk about it. I have a big enough edge to play Toledo. Toledo -8.
Everywhere. This is in every model has this. It's crazy. I don't understand why this line's here. I was really excited to talk to you about this one. This one's on my sheet today. It was actually going to go into Sportsline, but I've been busy today. But yeah,
I got on the total, which is always interesting. Like in this spot, when we see this, we're usually like, okay, there's 3 points on the total. Like something is there. We're absolutely dead on 155. I'm going to play it out of principle. Toledo -8.
Yep.
Want to add it to the show? We can go for
100%.
it.
I'm seeing -7.5, -115 at DraftKings. I got to make sure that's still accurate and not just my stupid app misreporting it.
Let me know, and I will run that through a calculator here and tell you which is
Toledo.
better.
Yeah, -7.5, -115 still. So
okay, hold on. Before I lock it in, I'm going to get the best price on this.
This is a good one. I might go put this on. Might go put this on Sportsline. Honestly, this is a good pick. First half. You talking about this one, Achilles, for this game? That's a good pick.
-7.5 at 115 is the better price.
Yeah, for sure. I'll take a 5 cent half point and take a win condition every time.
The win condition is the critical.
Paying 5% for a win condition is definitely nice. All right. Let's see what else we got. One more game, balls. So yeah, we're definitely gonna be on that. So there's play number 5, right? So we have what did we just add? We added VMI and WCU over 100 and what was your line there, Mike?
153.5.
Okay, and then
-105. Yeah, I got all of these listed here. If you want me to run through them.
Oh, where?
No, I've got them all like written down here and on my actual.
I'm going to put them on the screen. I want to put them on the screen really quick here.
Gotcha.
I'm guessing we're not going to put anything.
I'll put them on the screen for you, and then I'll answer the question. How about -120 at -7.5? I would rather have the -8 at 110 at that point.
Yeah. I agree. All right, final game of the night, Columbia Penn.
But it's really close. It's 1 cent difference. It's the equivalent of
Right.
119 to 120. So if you've only got -120 available, it's the same thing as betting -8.
Yeah. And then lastly, it was oh, wait, hold on. Can you take that off the screen for a sec, Mike?
Yep.
And then because I just can't see. Then ball and then Toledo -7.5. Okay. Now it's all full. So there's everything for right now. I don't think we're going to take anything on this last game. I'll remove this. I'll put it up in a second again if anybody wants to copy it down. But this game, I mean, I personally, I regret to say, I think I'm going to take the points. Is that
on Columbia and Penn?
Yeah. No, sorry, I'm not. I'm actually going to go the other way. It's probably Penn. I don't trust this Columbia team at all. Penn probably runs them out of the freaking building, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Columbia
this is
just lost to Dartmouth.
underlane for me.
Columbia just lost to Dartmouth by 13. They lost to Yale by 11. They lost to Brown by 19. They lost to Harvard by 9. This line again at 9. They already beat Penn too. And like that, it gives me more fuel to the fire, honestly. Penn looking for a revenge win against maybe the worst team in the conference, and Penn is looking to be that number 2 or number 3 team this year behind Princeton and Yale. Again, it's tight at the top in the Ivy League. It's kind of weak at the bottom. Give me the Penn. Give me -9. They're gonna get it done. They're gonna get it done. You are actually missing a couple games, Mike.
I believe anything that's like a makeup game does not make it because the schedule is set.
Pushed from Thursday to Friday. So we can quickly talk about it. I'm staying away from Oakland. I don't really trust that sports line model projection there. NKY -7. I mean, if you want to go ahead and just give it a go, there's probably a reason it's there. Oakland has been kind of cruddy, honestly, for lack of a better term. I'm not playing it. Not playing it.
Yeah.
No, thank you. But all right. I did say that I would.
Have it, guys, unfortunately. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's pretty much on the money on most models. I can tell you here. If you want to hear some projections, let me see what everyone has. Oakland for Torvik is 4.5. D ratings is 4. Haslametrics is 4. KenPom is, let's see, KenPom is 4.5, 5. Shot qualities, page isn't loading. Don't really know why. I love shot quality here. I probably lean Northern Kentucky. 4-2. It's probably going to finish at 3. But give me the points. I'm not betting it though. But all right, let's make a quick donkey. Let's see what we got. We'll do it really fast here. We're just going to run through the games, talk about money lines that we probably need to grab. I think Yale's definitely going to beat Dartmouth. All right, start from the early one. VMI is going to beat WCU. We didn't talk about Akron, Miami, Ohio, but Miami, Ohio is playing terribly. Take Akron there. I think Niagara probably. If we're really donkeying it up, guys, like we don't have a choice. A lot of donkey plays today. We can go like 6 legs. Seton Hall definitely wants to make it on there. Iona wants to make it on there. I don't understand what's going on with this Penn line. It's giving me a weird one here on Action, but you'd put Penn in there. I don't really want St. Peter's. I don't want Siena. I'll take Monmouth. I'll take Cleveland. And then you gotta take, again, all these lines are coming in so weird. I should just built it actually on FanDuel so I can play it. But yeah, just string them all together. All right. String like 7 or 8 games together. Get yourself a nice little donkey. I'll post on my Action app so you can see what I actually end up taking. But yeah, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the show. I'll really quickly drop the plays up here as we say goodbye, but we will see you on Wednesday for another episode of Market Movers.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys soon.